Welcome back to my channel. I am making an AI generate what it thinks a Minecraft building should look like, and then I'm going to actually build it. Alright, so the AI is just finished generating. We have 9 different mansions to choose from. I think a lot of the first few look pretty generic. A lot of them just look like a box with a roof. Mostly, I guess some of them have some interest, but I looked at them a bit and I think the bottom 3 are probably my favorites. I think that this one is probably my favorite visually, but I think it might be difficult to do this round bit at the front. I do like this one, but I don't know, it's not super special. I think my favorite might be this one. It just looks so cool. I think it's gonna be hard trying to find a landscape that looks exactly like this one, but I think I'm gonna try because this just looks so different from anything else I've seen. And I think it's gonna be pretty easy to tell what blocks are supposed to be involved. I mean, this is birch log, and then this is probably dark oak or spruce. Maybe it looks a little bit more like spruce, but yeah, I think I'm gonna try this one. Okay, I've just loaded up a new creative world, and we got really lucky. It looks like we're already right next to a river, so hopefully we can use that to find a good place to build our AI generated build. I think I found the best spot I could have possibly found right here. There's dark oak on the left, lighter green grass on the right, and the start of a peninsula in the middle that I can put the build on. I'm going to spend a bit of time just fixing up the landscape and then start building. I wanted to take a second to say that even though I personally haven't seen anyone else do this challenge, it definitely is possible that someone else has already done the same thing or something similar to it. So if you've seen someone do something similar, feel free to leave a comment with their video info because we don't gatekeep here. What do you think? I am really pleased. I added the extra stairs there and cleared out a bunch of area where there used to be trees so that it matches the plains, and then I extended the peninsula a ton. These 2 sand blocks mark about how wide I think the building is going to be, and then there's space at the front for the little trees that appear in the generated image. I cleared basically the entire forest, but then I planted back 4 trees, which means I'm barely an eco-terrorist, right? Okay, so where is the birch? Okay, so if it's about this wide, and it's raining, if it's about this wide and it also has a bit of a curve at the front, maybe something like that, or even more of a curve. How many pillars are there? I'm gonna check. I think I'm gonna set up some pillars. I have tried so many different pillar variations and I'm not enjoying any of them. I think it's messing me up because it looks like there are pillars, but not too many, and then you can see the part in the back right looks really far away without there being any pillars or any large distance between any pillars. So I think I need to extend the right part out more at the front so it covers up some of the pillars in the middle. I think that might be my next strategy. But yeah, no, this is difficult. Okay, so this is version 5, I think, of the pillars, and I think it's going pretty well. I think that having the pillars on the right on this flat wall concealed is probably the smartest thing I can do here, because it just doesn't look like there's a ton of pillars in the photo, and so hiding them is probably the best way I can still include them and have it match up with the spacing that we see in the front. So from the direction that the picture looks like it's being taken or generated from, you can only see these 3 pillars on the left and then these 3 pillars on the right plus the tower in the back. So it looks like it's going really far back on the right without showing a bunch of the pillars. I think that the next step is to probably add a bit of a foundation around the bottom, like that probably, because you can see in the front of the photo it looks a little bit gray and solid at the front, and I think that that's supposed to be a foundation, so I think that that's the next step. Okay, so I've just added the border around the bottom and added some trees and added the level, or the, oh my god, I can't think of the word for the floors. I added the different floor dividers, and so I think that I'm probably good to start the roof now. I'm definitely avoiding the windows for the time being because I'm not really sure how I'm going to do the little pattern that shows up in the images yet, but the roof I think I can definitely handle, so I think the roof is going to be next. I have just had a breakthrough, okay? I was just talking about how I didn't know what to do for the windows here, and then it came to me. Bookshelves. It already has this little pattern to it, and it has similar colors. It has the brown, and it has a bit of the yellows, even though a lot more of it is green. I think that's the closest I'm gonna get. Maybe if I put a bit more wood in between them and maybe mix in some other blocks, I think this place is a library. And I've done the border for the roof. I had just done the border of the roof when this came to me, and I just wanted to say that I know that this is supposed to be more white like it is in the picture, but I think just adding any other white with the birch logs would just be too much, and I'm allowed a little bit of artistic liberty here, so it's andesite, I've decided this is a library. We can't forget the part of the roof that's just going to tie the entire front of the build together. Okay, wait for it. Wow, why don't I do this to all of my builds? This is just really an architectural wonder. Amazing. So I've done the roof. I didn't commit to doing all of the weird poking out bits of the roof, but I did have to include the beam in the front just because it's so funny and out of place. Like, I just laugh every time I see it. I've also drafted some window options with the bookshelves. The first option is just sticking it how it was before and just not actually using it as a window, which is the simplest way to do it, but also kind of the most boring and the least realistic. The next option is using glass blocks and then having trapdoors cover the back parts where the half slab is. The only issue with that method is that when you do the trapdoors in between two floors, the floor above it can't have its half slab floor there. It has to have a carpet floor, which isn't the end of the world, but it does limit being able to put anything on the ground that we would want to. So that's definitely something to consider. And then the third option is having panes with the same trapdoor method, except the issue with this is that there's still a bit of room in between where the window and the ceiling is, so might ruin a bit of the immersion. And then the last option is to just have a single line of glass panes that act as more of a railing, and then having an open air library, which is a pretty cool idea, but I'm not sure if I like it more than just having a normal window. So I'm going to think on that, and in the meantime, we have an entire rest of the building that we haven't touched. So even when the walls are in, it's still not going to be much smaller than this, even if the bookshelves are a bit more inward. And so I think I might let the AI decide what we put on the inside. I might go back to the AI and generate some interior designs for us. So I've done a couple searches, and I really like this picture a lot. I think that there's a lot of different details that I can include, the different pillars and the railings and the bushes. I think that I'm really liking this one. I don't know what's going on with this weird page turning thing in the floor, but we can ignore that. And I included stairs in this search and got this image, which just made a bunch of stairs around a pillar just in the middle of the room as some sort of centerpiece. And I think it's really funny, and I don't know why I shouldn't have it in my build, so I think I might take inspiration from both of these pictures. Alright, so it's been a bit of time since the last clip. As you can see, I've done a lot of work. I didn't record it because I was busy watching the League of Legends play-ins for World Championships, but I decided that I didn't like any of the glass options and decided on lectern railings so that the building is open to the air and it has all these nice pathways going around the outside of the building. And you might be asking me, hey Stratus, where's the door? Where are the stairs? And the answer is that there is not going to be a door, and there are going to be no stairs, because these blocks gave me an idea, and I've decided that there will not be any humans or any other earthbound creatures in this building. This building is solely going to be for bees. Am I using this as a narrative reason to not build a door and stairs? Yes, absolutely, but it makes sense because there's no glass, and so the bees are able to fly in and out. And I did originally use this block just because it was yellow and I wanted to match some of the tones of the image, but now I've just decided to run with it a bit more and use it as an excuse to not build any of the parts of the building that a human or most other animals would need in order to use the building. So that's where I'm at with this. I still need to do a lot of the interior. I definitely need to light it up a bit. That's probably the plan. I think the next few steps are finish the interior, take some side-by-side... Actually, I do need to also extend my little hill because it does not reach. I only care about this vantage point because this is what the original image is of, and so that's what I'm going to be comparing this building to. But yeah, I need to finish the interior, finish the hill, do a side-by-side comparison, and then I think I'm going to release the bees. Alright, so I took a bit of time and added in a bunch of bookshelves and a bunch of pathways. I got the idea to add these bridges because of the top part of the first interior image. This is what I was going for the first interior image. You can see it has like the same little pillars and the plants. I think the whole area looks very brown, which I guess libraries generally are, but I do want to add some more leaves around. But I think the most important thing right now is to do the little staircase centerpiece, because I haven't done it yet. So I think that it doesn't need to go up all the way to the ceiling. I think if it stops around here, that's probably fine. And then I guess if it just has stairs going all the way around, then that'll be good. I've been really enjoying this challenge because it's just making me do things that I just normally would not do in a build. Like, even if I somehow came up with all of these other ideas by myself for all of these weird pillars and this weird shaped building, I would not have just put this weird sculpture in the middle in a million years. But, you know, it fills the room. It does fill the room. I think that it does look very brown, so I do want to add some more leaves. I might add some bee nests from the ceiling. Might look cool if they were hanging from the ceiling. I think that after those finishing touches, the interior might be done. I'm going to show you the exterior again. I added a little block here so that I can stand on it and get the same view every time. But you can see it looks pretty similar. I do need to get rid of this area to make it look exactly like the image, but I think it looks pretty close. I extended the hill so that it is actually covered by the building and you don't see it drop off. And I added the little river. And I think that this looks pretty close. I think that this, minus this part, is the final image. So I think I'm going to clean up the interior. Also, I like how I said that I didn't want to do stairs or an entrance because I didn't want to do anything too crazy on the inside, and then I did whatever this is. So yeah, if it's for bees, I might add more flowers as well as the leaves, but I think it's just finishing touches, and then I think I'm done. Okay, it's done. It is finally done, and honestly, I don't know if it's the build that hurts my eyes or if I just need to go to bed, but either way, I'm ready to just spawn a billion bees in here and just let them have it and just leave this world and never come back. I only have one take to do this. Oh my god. Them. Go free. I made you this whole library. What's the best bee pun for library? Library? I don't know. I don't think it mattered. Oh my god, they look like they're falling from here. It's like I'm just dropping. I am just dropping them. Oh my god. This is it. This is all I wanted out of this build. Honestly, I would have never built anything like this ever if it wasn't for this challenge. And I am really glad that I did it. I think that it took a lot of the pressure off building, because if I hated the build, then I could just say, oh, it wasn't me. The AI generated it. And then if I did like it, I could just say that I did build it, and I would be right. Oh, it's nighttime, so they're all going into the house. Wait. Oh. I just think that it took the pressure off of building, and it also just allowed me to try some things that I would have never thought of. You know, who's going to make a bee library in their life? Probably not just me, but not too many people aside from me, and I wouldn't have thought of any of these ideas or any of these little details inside the build without the generator. So I highly recommend it for anyone who's feeling pressure to build, or if they're feeling any builder's block, because you can end up having a good time, and it's a good way to pass the time, good way to get some building in. And I think that's my takeaway. I'm ready to log out of this world and never come back and just go to bed. Alright, well, thank you for watching, and good night.